Can we please for once get this battle started? I had 2 failed recordings of trying to get the first battle because of shit that happened. First the person on our side had to go, then the person on their side had to go. And we just called that a to be continued in case anything comes up later of that being possible. I'm basically just using this to test the waters to see what happens. I'm probably just gonna go in myself next after this just to try to finish this because I'm kind of getting tired of it now. This is why you don't do spur of the moment team battles. 2 criticals come out from Jay's side. That means he probably runs 12 crit. Cece should take note of that. That's not the best way to do that. What the fuck? Aglavale into Aglavale. So Jay's trying to go in early. And he does have a full field. He also has a lot of very important units on the field that could go to the bottom of the deck because Gear Chronicle. No guards. And that was a Bruno. Hitting for a big number. CC doesn't try to guard but gets a draw trigger for it. Ride to Lulu. 4 counterblast, 1 soul blast, 1. Call 1 from hand and it gains 5k. Oh no, wait. This unit doesn't counterblast. It's just a soul blast 1, call 1 from hand and it gains 5k. Also, either lose skill. It gains 3,000 for every face-up G unit that CC has. It's a generation break 1, but you would need at least 1 to start counting how much power it gains anyway. Gets a heal and a stand trigger. Critical for the opponent, but it doesn't mean much in this case. And the damage is 4 to 2. CC taking as many advantages as possible. And Jay can't Legion. Wastes a superior call to get a 4th unit in the drop zone so that he can use it to Legion. That means getting a superior call in order to do the Prominence Glare skill, even if he does get something in hand from this, is going to be really difficult. It's going to give Cece a turn to either build her hand or just wreck that field so that it can't affect her. He's checking his top 5 now, I think. Even Jay admits that there's something wrong with him right now. That's the top 6, not the top 5. How did that perfect guard go into the drop zone? Because I saw what she's talking about. Okay, so the sixth bound card was the Aglavale that was supposed to be in the drop zone. So Aglavale just went back. Basically everything went back except for what was soul blasted. It's really confusing and it feels kind of invalid, but I'm not going to be the guy who harps on that. If Jay makes a move at this point that isn't legal, air quotes, Cece will understand. He can't really do a superior call at this point, so he's not. So Cece has the power to guard, she has the power to take the damage, and depending on Jay's hand after this, yep, perfect guard. Drive check was a Yosef, but he accidentally drew it. Catch goal is the second. He did it wrong, by the way. $15K to Vanguard, that can hit. And then the other side is 21. Cece doesn't even try. And at this point, Cece uses stride. And brings out Chronos Command Dragon. With this unit's ability, Cece would very easily be able to send all of Jay's field to the bottom of the deck. And if that were in fact to happen, and Jay is guarding, that's a 1 pass. If he says all, he's 1 passing. That's a 2. That's a 3. Cece won't get 3. Does get a heal, doesn't work. And because Jay doesn't have any counterblast, he's not going to be able to do Prominence Glare skill at all. He has 1 counterblast, but unless he has a unit that can superior call without using the counterblast, he can't use Prominence Glare. For what it's worth, he was better off taking the hit and using Bruno behind and putting Bruno behind Vanguard so he could try to get that going if he really wanted to end the game with that. Rise Harmonix Messiah, but it doesn't really have the staying power to actually end the match anymore because Cece is at 3 damage. By the way, this isn't 12 crit after all. He does have stand triggers. He just doesn't have draws. He gets a critical right there. Some power goes to Bruno and 2 damage to the Vanguard. But Cece actually has everything she needs to close this out in the next turn. Just by using Ragnarok. She doesn't have to use any hand here. He gave all the effects to Bruno. Cece takes the other card that wins the damage as her next draw because it would have been. and Cece is using Stride. I would have probably, if it was me, I would have rode Chrono Jet, then done Stride, then did Counterblast 1 to send Destiny Aglavale to the bottom of the deck. Jay no guards because he can't. Chrono Jet, and Amber. No heal trigger. Cece wins. So Cece takes that game. On to the next one.